Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome to another fun episode of Loremaster the Absurd with your host, Loremaster Jeff, myself, Loremaster Eli. And we are the Absurd podcast that covers the absurd films of the 70s, 80s, or 90s. Or if you look at that if you break that down in Latin, it means we do what the fuck we want. So that's just what we do here. How you doing tonight, Jeff?
I'm doing fantastic. Actually.
Yeah, that's good.
How about yourself?
Living the dream, just living it. Summer, I feel like summer's even though it hasn't officially started yet, but the weather's been nice. Mowing the grass.
Yep. Getting out, doing some stuff.
I do want to ask you a question though.
Okay.
You have been on this earth for many rotations.
Sure.
As of myself. And you lived in many places, some rural, like myself, and even now we kind of live in a suburb. You know what? So something happened to me this week that
okay.
I still don't know if it's ever happened to you.
All right.
I'm convinced that a flock of birds who perch in my backyard have it out for them.
Okay.
Have you ever felt when like some animals were trying to get you?
Not birds necessarily, no, huh?
Okay.
Well, why do you say that the birds are trying to get you?
All right.
They're Alfred Hitchcock.
Hear me out, right? So the other night I'm mowing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like these 3 birds. And they're like just like flying over. They're not vultures, which is weird. They're just like flying over the front yards I'm mowing. And like they land on the roof and like they're just kind of staring at me. And then like I go over by this tree and they're just like laying on that tree and they're watching me. And, like they're just watching me, as I'm mowing the front of the yard.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think enough about it. I'm like, probably see me scaring up bugs or something. They're gonna eat it, right? So go take a shower. And our shower is in the, like on our back wall. And we just had the shower done. I don't have the exhaust fan in, so I open the window, while I shower so the steam goes out.
Right.
And it faces the backyard. So I'm showering. And sometimes, I just let the hot water on me and I look out the window, right? So I'm letting the hot water on me and I just have to look out the window. And those 3 birds are like a fucking tree in the center of my yard, just staring in the window like a couple perverts while I shower, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm feeling real uncomfortable now. And I'm like looking and I'm like, and I don't want to like yell out the window and scare them because I don't want to be the neighbor that showers with their window open and yells at birds. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't be that guy, that person in the neighborhood. Yeah,
I don't be that guy. So whatever. Don't think of it. Next day, I go to the gym. Go walk out to my car. Sure as shit, those birds are still there just watching me.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of feel like these birds are up to something.
Well, I mean, maybe they're just enjoying the view, if you know what I mean. Like,
well, listen, the window comes up my way, so they didn't see nothing.
Hate to see you go, like to watch you leave. You know what I mean?
I'm just concerned that these birds may try to attack me.
Well, I mean that is a concern, I guess. I mean, have they moved aggressively towards you in any manner?
Just with their eyes, because they stare at me with their little bird eyes.
Yeah. Yep. Classic.
Just
move.
Stare at me with their bird eyes, and I'm concerned.
Yeah.
What I think it is, right, is I trimmed some branches off this one tree. They were low hanging branches, make it easier to go into this tree. Sure. Maybe those were those branches, and now they're out to get me.
That's possible. Maybe that was their house. You ever think about that?
But I mean, there's no bird nest in it.
Well, not now because you cut it down.
But I mean, there wasn't before I cut it.
Well, I mean, maybe it was on the market, and then they decided that, hey,
wait, are you trying to tell me birds sell their breed? Okay, well,
I don't know. I don't know, and I don't really know that much about birds.
What kind of bird? What do they use for bird currency?
Seeds and worms, probably. I'd assume, right? Isn't that?
Doesn't sound like very good currency.
Well, that's ignorant because that seems exactly what birds would do. So just
I mean,
because you're not interested in the currency doesn't mean birds don't use it.
well, I'm starting to wonder if I'm not the currency the way they're looking at
Oh,
me.
it's possible.
You know, just weird.
Human bodies.
And what's weird too is they're not even like the three same type of birds.
Really? So it's not even like it's a flock of birds or
Right.
whatever.
Like one's like brown,
Yeah.
one's like a reddish brown, and the other is like a blackbird, but not a crow. It's got a weird shiny head, like it's like almost like a holographic head. It's weird.
Like a robot head, probably.
Maybe.
I
Wait,
mean,
do you think they're robots?
it's possible it's a robot bird. I mean,
Are
stranger things have happened.
Are you saying my enemies are spying on me?
It's possible. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
I
Well,
think maybe they're filming the next Marvel movie
oh man,
by your house.
can't be any worse than all the other new ones.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah, that's my monster May. You know, we've been having a monstrous May, and
Mhm.
that's I feel like these birds, like, you know, next episode you're gonna see me. There's gonna be pecks and scratches all over my face.
It's possible.
If you don't live far from me, if I call you in the middle of the night, like, hey, I'm being attacked by birds, I need your help killing these birds. You coming to help?
Sure. Sure. Give them a whirl, you know?
You try to fight a bird?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I'm not afraid of birds.
Famous last
So,
words.
well, like if you
Famous last
find me
words.
if you find me with my eyes pecked out laying in my yard, you'll know what happened.
Oh man. Well, hey, as we wrap up, it's our last monstrous May movie here. As before we go into the new month. So we thought we'd go out with a real banger. A movie you and I've talked about in passing about liking and stuff, you know, over the year. We finally decided to watch it. We're gonna be talking about The Mummy, the cult, I don't know, probably blockbuster, I'd say, not cult classic,
Yeah,
blockbuster
yeah. I think
gem
it did real well, yeah.
from the 90s. You know, you have Brendan Fraser,
99.
who's making his comeback
Yeah.
uh in there. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about that. Before we talk about though, shall I read the back of the VHS cover to you?
Yeah, let's see what it says.
You know, I don't know if you're gonna like this one. I feel like this one's kind of a like they're trying to be like suspenseful with it.
Okay. Okay.
First off, the quote on top of it, which is bigger, I would like to know how much money someone gets paid to do this stuff on the back of these movie covers. Because whatever it is on some of these movies, they get paid too much.
Okay.
Because first off, they have a quote taking up like the whole top half of the back of this VHS cover, and like, which is insane because it's like 6 words, and then they like squeeze and minimize the actual text of the plot. So all I see
That's
is this
weird.
quote,
Yeah.
which the quote is "mile a minute, chills and thrills."
That's a little
That's like,
intense, I think. I don't know.
yeah, like okay, it's like pump the brakes, guy. Calm down.
Yeah, this isn't like Point Break. Like,
Right.
you know.
Right. Listen, I like Brendan Fraser, but say no
Yeah.
Swayze. You know what I
Saying
mean?
no Swayze, yeah.
Anyways,
Ain't no roundhouse kicks in this
no,
movie.
there ain't no throat. You know what the throat
Throat
spikes
rip
from
maneuvers.
Roadhouse.
Mhm.
I don't see Jake Gyllenhaal remaking The Mummy.
That's true.
Like he's about
That's
to
true.
ruin Roadhouse.
Oh God.
Anyways,
Really want to go down that road.
not yet. Anyways, I digress. But deep in the Egyptian desert, a handful of people searching for a long lost treasure have just unearthed a 3,000-year-old legacy of terror. Combining the thrills of a rousing adventure with suspense of Universal's legendary 1932 horror classic The Mummy, this movie starring Brendan Fraser is a true, non-stop action epic filled with dazzling and visual effects, top-notch talent, and superb storytelling. That's it.
All right. Yeah, those are all just a bunch of generic adjectives that they said. Like there's no way the person that wrote that even knows what this movie is. They're like, it's an action movie. Got it. He's just like, got it. They're like, well, it's about. I don't care. This is I got it.
They're like, what's a mummy? Oh, mummy. All right, fine. Action mummy movie.
Yeah, I'm action mummy. Got it. Got it. Non-stop thrill a minute action sequence.
Action mummy stuff.
Yeah, action mummy stuff.
Action mummy stuff. There you go. Hey Jeff. Is this your first time watching The Mummy? What'd you think?
No, no, it's not the first time watching it. So I looked back on this movie with fond memories.
Uh-huh.
And upon watching it again, I still think it was a pretty good action movie.
Yeah.
But it aged, you know.
Right.
This is a different kind of genre of action. This isn't. I don't know. It was fine. I wouldn't put it in my top movie list anymore. I don't think.
Oh
After
wow.
watching it again, it's once again, it's an action movie about a mummy and
Right.
whatever. But overall, I think it kind of it showed its age a little bit. I'd have to say, it's not as timeless of a classic as you would maybe want it to be.
Right. Okay. All right. All right, fair enough. I agree. I you know what it's weird. A lot of times when I look at something, I know nostalgia plays a part in it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um I will say this to your point, it's not what I would call an action movie of how we think of them. That you could tell this was based very like it felt like a 50s action movie, right?
Right, yeah, and
Like
that
it
was the
wasn't
point, right? Like this was very
right.
Indiana Jones type, and I mean, it was
Right.
set in probably the 40s or whatever, I
I think
guess.
so. Like,
Probably,
yeah,
you know what I
right.
mean? Like based on kind of the technology and the
Right.
garb and that kind of stuff.
Right.
So it harkened, which is I think once again weird because I think that's where it loses some for me because it was a movie from 1999 harkening back to the 40s, right?
Right.
But now we're harkening back to 1999 to a movie harkening back to the 40s. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's like the inception of action mummy
Right.
movies,
Right.
So I
Right.
think that's where it dropped the ball a little bit for
Right.
me.
I still like that aspect of it, and I
Mm-hmm.
think Brendan Fraser does a really good job, um, of doing that. And I think they also made the choice. Well, one of the things too about this I always liked, where they kind of made the choice is there's not a lot of cursing or like blood or anything in this.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, like I
Yeah.
think they try to make it like a modern 40s 50s movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
one thing I will say that it makes it a little hard, parts of it a little hard to watch for me now, is the CGI they used
It
has
did not.
not
Yeah.
waged at
Yeah.
all,
Yeah. It did
which is
not. It was.
crazy because they're like movies we like. First off, they used very little practical effects in this. Like
Yeah.
you tell, it's
Yeah.
a lot of CG, and a lot of
Yeah.
CG does not look
Does
great.
not look good. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, and it's crazy to me that like some of these movies we've watched from like the fucking like 80s and like the 90s and 70s and stuff like or 90s I should say, but like the 80s and 70s, like some of those effects, even
Mm-hmm.
like some of their poopy CG they used at the time, still look better than some of the CG in this movie.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like it's kind of, and once again, this is what, almost a 20-year-old movie. It'll be
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
Well, you know what's weird about the effects is, because I was thinking about what I'm watching. I'm like the CGI in this movie. Obviously, it's 20-year-old CGI.
Right.
It's not great, right? But also the practical effects they used, some of them weren't even that good. And I'm like, if you're gonna like, how did you manage that? So, like, an example is when those mummies, the mummy priests or whatever they are,
Yeah.
were coming out of the floor, like the way the floor like broke apart looked awful. Like it
Right.
looked so bad. And I'm like, how is that possible that you cannot even get that correct? You know what I mean? Like I
Right.
don't know. It was I think that's one of the things is just let too heavily on CGI. And at the time, I mean at the time I'm sure it was like, oh, this looks cool. But then
Right.
like this is one of those movies that you literally if you watch it 2 weeks later, you're like, oh wait, that CGI didn't look that good. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like that. I mean, it's like a current DC movie CGI is what they. You know what I mean?
Well, like it's crazy. I think okay. Let's we'll get into it. So like basically, for those you haven't watched it, basically these people in the 40s they unlock a mummy. They're trying to stop the mummy from like taking Brendan Fraser's girlfriend because he wants to revive his old girlfriend. The mummy does, and then become full power mummy, rain darkness. They're stopping the mummy. Whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Stopping the mummy.
To your point, the CGI. You know what the other weird thing about the CGI was? Is like it was almost like the people with the color. So, for example, in the when the mummy first resurrects, he has to basically eat people and eat parts of
He
people
takes their parts or
to
whatever.
to
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be, look more like a person. So like when you first see him, he's like basically like this real like almost the classic mummy, and then
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
then it gets to a point where he's like supposed to be like covered in like kind of like rotten bones and a little bit of rotten flesh and grizzle, and like first off, it's like all brown, so it looks like he's just covered in shit.
Yeah. He's
Like
the
it,
poop mummy. He's a
yeah, it
yeah.
looks like a skeleton fell into a septic tank. And like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
parts where like they try to make it, it feels like they're trying to make it a little scary and grizzled.
Mhm.
And like I granted, once again, I get the CGI is old, but even with their color choice, it looks like someone is making. It's almost like those videos you find on YouTube where people just superimpose shitty CGI over
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
because they're
Exactly.
using
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Adobe Home version or
See,
something.
I don't even think he looked scary. Like
No,
the
no.
problem was his face was kind of goofy looking,
Yep.
right? And for some reason, yeah, they opted to go with a naked blobby turd mummy rather than
Right.
like I don't even he didn't even look like a classic mummy. He just looked like a turd zombie is what he looked
Right.
like. And
Right.
like he was just a big brown turd zombie coming after
Right.
people. And like he should have like they could have literally hid that with practical costume. That would
Right.
like that would have made it so much better. And
Right.
like once again, is this one of those like at the time, oh, this new CGI is out, so we're going to use it for and I don't and it's just weird because he was supposed to kind of be scary, but
Right.
he wasn't. He looked stupid as hell. And then like the comedy in this did not land at all. They tried to sprinkle in like jokes, and like the one scene that's actually in my background here when the mummy like comes after him and like Brandon Fraser just yells at him and shoots him in the leg or whatever. Like it just was not good.
See the comedy I kind of like because it seemed like it was very Abbott and Costello-y kind of
yeah.
like that type and like I'm but I'll say this I think that's kind of a niche like for people that like that if you don't like it like it's either gonna land or it's not. It's
Yeah,
like a weird
yeah.
spot but no yeah to your point like it's yeah like and like even at the end like those mummies that were like jumping around like frogs like
Mm-hmm.
there was a couple like the practical looking versions like they looked okay but then when they had them jumping like you're
Yeah,
like
what are they
turds in
doing?
helmets
Who
like
made this choice?
straight like dark browns for like mummy skin. It's like it looks like a bunch of Mr. Hankies on the screen
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
jumping
Yeah,
around.
it's a bunch of just turd zombies floating around.
Right. And then like when they bring his girlfriend's soul out of that pit, it was just
Yeah,
a big
yeah.
purple turd.
Yeah, it's like
And like
okay, there's the purple turd mummy.
yeah, it's like what is
And like
superimposed?
yeah. So the whole movie he goes around and brings plagues and like
Yep.
kills those guys and comes back to life or whatever. And can we talk about how dumb this mummy is? So the ending, right? The ending was bad. I thought the ending was kind of dumb, right? So they corner him. He's trying to transfer his Brendan Fraser's that the librarian
Evie. Yeah.
Evie. He's trying to transfer her soul or consciousness or whatever something
Well,
into
he's trying to transfer his
her
mummy girl
vitality, like
right
yeah,
into
like
his
right
mummy
into
girlfriend,
his
right?
mummy girlfriend, right? A Nux in the
And
moon or
then
whatever.
her soul would go into Evie.
Right, because she
Yeah.
was like supposedly like the blood or whatever. I don't know, whatever.
Right.
Some made up, connection, which was fine. Who cares, And then like so they read from this book that they basically had the whole time, and they just had to get the key off of him.
The Book of the Dead.
The Book of the Dead that had like a padlock on it, and
right.
So that like she knows the incantation to summon the soul chariot, whatever. So he's standing there, and this fucking thing. He's supposed to be this priest of ultimate power, whatever, and this thing like goes through him, and he sees his soul go away. He sees hers around, and he's like, that's my soul. Like, and he's just like, all right, well, you still can't kill me. There's no way. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I'd have been like, I'm out of here, right?
this is a big L for me.
Walks up to Brandon Fraser. Brandon Fraser stabs him with a sword or whatever. And I'm like, I was like, is that it? That's how you killed the mummy? Like this, I'm
yeah,
like,
a little lackluster.
Like,
and it's weird that whole how to kill the mummy and the connection with Evie and the blood.
Yeah,
that carries over to the second one, which I rewatched the second one not too long ago, and the CGI is somehow worse, and those plot lines are somehow worse.
That's the Scorpion King, right?
That is right.
That's yeah. Well, the C yeah. How did the CGI get worse? Did they
It
lose money? Did they try to cut? Because I mean they carried the whole turd aspect over because the Rock looked like a
he
turd on
looks
a
worse than a
scorpion.
turd.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, I don't even. I'm never watching that movie again. So
Well,
just don't even put it on the list because I'll just.
it's crazy because all these made like this was a very like these movies made a lot of money. They did a trilogy, remember?
Yeah,
There was
yeah,
except for like the third one was in China and they were fighting Chinese mummies.
yeah. Well, I mean, that makes sense. So,
Yeah. And like
was Brendan Fraser in the second one and third
yeah,
one? Was he in all
yeah,
three?
he's in all
Wow.
three.
Okay.
Oh, and so
Yeah,
was
I don't
Rachel
remember. I
Weisz.
don't remember the third one. I don't remember the. I
Yeah,
remember the
they
second one because the Scorpion King
I
was awful.
believe Jet Li was in the third one.
Well, I think like by the time I think the second one just ruined it all for me because it was so awful. Like that movie was bad. Like with the was that the Rock's first movie?
Well, it
Yeah,
wasn't his first acting role, but it was
yeah,
his first film.
first movie. Yeah, well, look how that turned out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like this. Well, no, like this. It's kind of weird. This was at the height of Brendan Fraser's career.
Yeah,
He already had a career at this point. Rachel Weisz already kind of had a career at this point.
yeah,
Then this movie, if I remember correctly, was
I mean, it
filled with
did
a bunch of
well. I'm pretty
nobody.
sure like a lot of people liked it. It was a I don't know if it was beloved, but it was well liked at any rate. And like I said, I see
Yeah, I
the
mean, it was a
appeal of it.
blockbuster. Yeah,
It's a just a stupid just watch the movie and stuff happens and
right.
whatever. Like that's. But I bet that if people went back and watched it now, they might be singing a
You
different
know what? I
tune.
don't know. Like I said, when I watch it, I was like, I definitely the rose colored glasses are gone because
Right,
they're more like
right.
turd smudged glasses.
Glasses.
But like there were still parts that would like I would crack a smile and I still chuckle.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Brendan Fraser's character's name's O'Connor. And it's O'Connor and was it Benny? Is like that guy
Yeah,
that
yeah.
like they're kind of competing with
Yeah,
each
yeah.
other.
His like the tour guide guy or whatever it
Yeah,
was. Yeah,
and like there were some like scenes with them. I was like I still chuckle and
yeah,
smile about him and Rachel Weisz. I thought had really good chemistry for like
yeah, for sure.
I mean, like
The
I still
motivation was weird because so he went there for his like men believed that it was there, and in the beginning they all go like his soldiers or
yeah
whatever. But like he was never really said why he went, and then he agrees to take Rachel and or Evie, I guess, in the movie, but he
yeah.
agrees to take her to this place. And then he gets there and he's like, well, I was just coming to show you where it's at. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like,
Well, that's the only reason she would let him out of jail.
I know, but that's the dumbest motivation I've ever heard in my life. Like, just because, like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
in the 40s, what else is he gonna
like,
do?
and I have to say too, how bad were those idiots that were supposed to be guarding the mummy tomb? Like they literally like just like they're like, oh, all these people were here. They like rode by with their horses, shot some guns, and they just left. So, like I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure nobody's gonna find the mummy. Like what? Like this is like there's like supposed to protect it through all time, and they're just like, it's fine.
Was it the Magi? I think they were called.
It is. Yeah,
and like they're like you're right. They're like first off, well, if we're not going on this tangent, let's go on it. So you have in this movie, you have this group of the Magi, and they were tasked with, once this evil priest, when he was mummied alive, because they mummified him alive, basically, and then they were meant to guard that tomb for all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brendan Fraser's with the army, and like they decide, oh, we're gonna take over the spot. There's 8 of them.
Yeah,
we're gonna take over the spot.
I think there was a lot more, like because they all had like they had horses and they were
right.
Like,
but like it got down where
the way they shot it, it looked like there was a lot more. Yeah,
yeah. But like then when it got down to like the end of the battle, there was only like 8 of them.
But yeah, you had to top of the cliff or whatever.
Then it got down where like a bunch of them died, a couple ran away, and then Brandon Fraser managed to like kind of run away from them for a while.
Yeah. Like,
it's like 9 million of them all riding their horses.
Well, then they're like, well, they're sitting at the top of the cliff, and the guy's like, should we kill him? And he's like, no, the desert will kill him. It's like, no, shouldn't you make sure he's dead since you're supposed to keep
he knows
the
where
mummy from coming back? Like, fuck,
like sure shit, someone picks Brandon Fraser up and arrests him, goes to jail. So then what happens? They come back. What does this group do? Nothing.
Nothing at
They're
all.
just like,
The
oh,
worst.
the mummy will kill them. What
Yeah.
happens? The mummy gets out. And then what does this group do? We're just going to stay in the desert. Oh, and then the one guy, was it Ardeth? The one guy
Yeah.
who's like, well,
Yeah.
no, I'm going to go with him and help him. We have stopped the mummy. The rest of them are like,
That's
I can't
fine.
help
They're
you.
just like,
Mummy got out. Our job's done. It's like
yeah.
the fucking Night's Watch of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
watch has ended. And then they
Yeah,
don't actually help
This dude just
until
straight up trash.
yeah, and then they don't actually help until like the mummy raises all these like Anubis warriors or whatever, or not Anubis warriors,
Priest, the dark
priest or
priest
whatever.
yeah.
And then they're like, all right, I guess we'll help.
You're like, that's fine.
Right. But like, they're the worst guards in the world.
Yeah,
the
they were
worst.
pretty bad. They have chosen poorly for these guys. Like,
yeah, it's like,
they
what
were
are you
not
doing?
great.
Like the whole movie. And then also explain to me, right? You have all these explorers, right, and adventurers.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Brendan Fraser the only one that's ever got guns?
Oh yeah, well,
First off, he managed just to pull guns out of everywhere, which I still don't know where he gets all his guns from.
Yeah, he had a ton of them. Yep, he did have a lot of guns.
And everybody else is just like, I have my little pistol.
Yeah, I don't need no gun.
Yeah. Gonna go and like, oh, don't go on the desert. There's like bandits and pirates and like animals that will kill you. Good thing I brought my club.
Yeah. Or like those weird like Americans that sounded like hillbillies or cowboys or whatever. Like
that's right.
Like this is so stereotypical. Like
which is like, weird because like Brendan Fraser was American.
Yeah, the whole thing was weird. Like and once again, don't go into this thinking some in-depth plot line. You're just not gonna get it. They just need a reason to get to the mummy to let him out, basically.
Right. Right. I'll say this. Like I said, when I watched it, like, yeah, I got some poop from your glasses. I still enjoy having it on the background.
It was fine. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not. I don't want to poop. I don't want to mummy on it too much. But you know what I mean? Like,
you know what I would say surprisingly about this movie. I would say is like if you have kids and you want to kind of get them into like maybe some adventure movie stuff, and like maybe you're worried like Indiana Jones, but your kids are too young and like you don't think they'll understand the Nazi and all like the biblical references. Have them watch this.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's a good point. Yeah.
Like kids like there's not like there's not really swearing. There's no really blood or anything. If you want to get like this like a good
nobody that dies is like too gruesome or anything like that. I mean, there's
and the mummy doesn't look like he's decaying. He looks like a giant turd monster.
Yeah, it doesn't look like. I mean, he looks like a Pixar mummy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but except for if like Pixar was bad.
Yeah, except if Pixar just pooped on their screens whenever they were making a mummy. Like,
well, you know, this movie was made for $80 million.
Wow. Yeah.
$80 million, and that's the best CGI they get. Well, worldwide grossed $415 million.
I was gonna say it did well.
It did real good.
Yeah. Every place, I mean, every like place you look, it had like 5 stars most places. So, like I said, I mean, it's definitely a beloved movie. Or
well, IMDb has it at IMDb has it at a 7.1.
Really?
10. It's not bad.
Yeah.
You know, which is kind of, you know, it's weird though because like this movie almost killed Brendan Fraser. I don't know if you ever heard that story.
No.
Yeah, the scene where they're hanging him. They didn't think he would be in that rope that long, so they're like just hold it, whatever. And he actually went unconscious because it was really hanging him, and he had to be resuscitated.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And no one noticed except for Rachel Weisz, who was like screaming like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, like it's fine.
Yeah,
that's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
I was not aware of that actually.
Also, another little fun fact for you: do you know what the only reason was? He got this job?
No,
because the director loved him in George of the Jungle.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, George of the Jungle.
Now, just so you get a feeling of this director, do you want to know some of the other things he directed?
Yeah, what's that?
This may shock you.
Okay.
He directed Catch Me If You Can. That was his first movie.
Okay.
Then a couple movies no one cares about. He directed The Mummy, The Mummy Returns, Van Helsing.
Oh wow.
G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. And the
Ugh.
last movie he directed was Odd Thomas, which I actually liked Odd Thomas.
I don't know if I saw that movie.
It was a book
What's it?
series,
What is it?
Odd Thomas.
Oh, I thought you said I Thomas. I was like, I don't know what I
No.
Thomas is. Fucking.
He's written a lot too, most of the way he's directed, but he wrote the both Mummy movies.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
wrote the Mummy video game that came out with it.
Mummy.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, and listen, he's a producer. He mainly produces now. He produced the Scorpion King, the
Well, man.
spin-off movie about the Scorpion King. But he wasn't
Oh,
done there. He produced the third Mummy movie. Then, when they're like, okay, we're done with these Mummy movies, he goes, hold on a second. How about I produce the Scorpion King 2, Rise of the Warrior?
wow. Wow. How about now? He
And then they're
said,
like, hey, all right, guy, we think that's enough Scorpion King. He goes, joke's on you. Let's make the Scorpion King 3 Battle for Redemption.
yeah, yep.
That, if I'm not mistaken, do you know who plays the Scorpion King in it?
Nope. No idea. Who's that?
Dave Batista, and the
Wow.
villain is Billy Zane. And
Jesus
then
gravity.
they're like, okay, that's three Scorpion King movies. Like, okay,
Yeah,
that you
that's
can't do
enough. That's
anymore,
enough
right?
Scorpion Kings. Yeah.
Oh, no, no, he says. Now we're going to make the Scorpion King 4 Quest for Power.
Scorpion King in space.
Do
So
you want to know who the Scorpion King was
who's that?
in this movie? I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but they tried to make him look like The Rock, and this may shock you. He doesn't look like The Rock.
Even CGI Rock?
Yeah, he looks worse than CGI Rock. He looks like Aldi's
Wow.
version of Rock.
Wow. Wow. All these CGI
Yeah.
Rock.
And then just when you're thinking like Jiminy Christmas, we can't possibly do any more Scorpion
Mm,
King movies. He goes, holds my beer, which I didn't even know they made this many. In 2018 was the last Scorpion King movie, and it was
well, I mean,
Scorpion King 5, The Scorpion King, Book of Souls.
wow. Wow.
Right?
That's a lot of Scorpion Kings.
Right?
Like a lot for a bad movie. I
Right?
mean, because
And
I mean, sometimes you get a movie. Were those like sci-fi originals?
I'm assuming because the fifth one, I don't recognize a single name in the cast.
Hmm.
In the trailer, I don't even know if I would say sci-fi original.
Yeah.
It looks like it was made for Tubi.
Tubi original. Isn't
Tubi
Tubi
original.
Tubi's like the new sci-fi?
Yeah. But hey, guy, you know what? I'm kind of embarrassed right now because he has a new movie coming out that's currently in production called When Worlds Collide.
Starring the Scorpion King.
It doesn't appear to be casted yet, or they haven't announced a cast, I should say.
Yeah.
But it's about a rogue planet on a collision course with Earth that, in a mass hysteria of biblical proportions, will break out in the streets.
A rogue planet?
A rogue planet. That's correct. Yeah. Mhm.
What does that mean?
I don't know. A rogue planet's just going to run on a collision course with Earth.
Like that's weird. Like one of ARP, like did Jupiter fly off its hinges or something? Like what like
It doesn't say, but yeah, rogue planet.
who greenlights this stuff? That just still boggles my mind that there are studios that have money to just throw at this nonsense. How does that work? I don't understand it. Like if I'm an executive, even if I'm at sci-fi,
Oh wait,
right?
I have an answer for you. This rogue planet that's discovered on a collision course with Earth.
Yeah.
It's discovered in deep space.
Do they know that's not how planets work?
I don't know. I don't know. An astronomer discovers the planet. Um, and his name is Fen.
Oh, okay. Just
They're
like
gonna transport people. Oh wow, they blatantly just take the plot of what was that Bruce Willis asteroid
Armageddon.
movie Armageddon because uh all these people bring out like philanthropists, millionaires, billionaires, all these people give money to the scientists as they embark on a trip to try to get to go to the planet to figure out a way of stopping the planet from colliding with Earth
Mm.
from that planet.
It's a planet. I did like. Why would they call it a planet? Why wouldn't it just be an
I
asteroid?
don't know.
I mean, like what? Like it's literally
Uh,
Armageddon with a planet. Did
uh,
they
the,
know how big planets are? Like how big you have to be declared a planet?
I
Like
don't know, but
I
what's
don't think they
weird,
understand what a planet is. I'm not
what's
sure they know. Yeah.
apparently this is based on a like 50s story.
Fix the stop
And
figuring.
he's rewriting it from that script,
Hmm.
writing it by himself. Yeah, that's not gonna be good. That's gonna be a bad movie.
No, it's not going to be good. There's nothing good about that sound.
You know
There's
what?
nothing
You know what he
sounds good
should. You
about
know what
that
he should
movie.
put on it.
What?
Scorpion King.
The Scorpion King. Man, what if it's a planet full of Scorpion Kings? Like just half men, half scorpions,
Oh
or
my god.
half turd, half scorpions. Like,
Well,
okay.
hey, listen,
Yeah.
man. I don't know if you remember the Mummy lore, but
Mhm.
the Scorpion King was stung by a scorpion, and so he prayed to Anubis to let him kill his enemies. So Anubis
Made him
made
a
him
half
a
scorpion.
scorpion.
Man, I didn't know. I
Man,
forgot all about that.
guy. You know. You know what's weird?
Eh.
Like I
Besides a
that,
planet full of Scorpion Kings.
it's weird. Like it's like I don't know what it's almost 20 years removed from the Mummy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean
Mm-hmm.
I've watched like we watched it for this, and I mean
Yeah.
I think Mary and I maybe watched when we first started dating, which was 7, 8, 9 years
Yeah.
ago, fucking however long, and like it seems like it's one of those movies where I don't want to rewatch a bunch. I just want it to sit right where it's at,
Yeah, yeah, just
have my
grab it
kind of
once,
thought
once or
about it,
twice. Yeah. Well,
move
because
on.
you can this is one of those movies where it's easy to gloss over the nonsense
Right.
as it fades from your memory. Because like everything that's bad isn't like so bad that it ruins the movie. It's
Right.
just a lot of little bad stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like the general like there are some good parts, like I said, that the acting was really good. It was action packed, even that most of it was nonsense, but who cares? Like
Right.
it's about a mummy coming back. It's not, it's not like this. It
Right.
ain't, this is no planet trying to hit us,
I
this
think
is
I honestly think it's a lot of the CGI because like that has I think a
right.
lot of it has
Watching
to
it
because
again, right.
because
Watching
you're
it is
watching it,
seeing how bad it is now
it pulls
comparatively,
you out of it hard.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like when he came like walking down the hallway and I was like, oh, there's a giant turd. I was like,
It was bad. Yeah, it was a
it
bad
was like a
choice.
bus wreck. I was like,
Yeah,
I was like,
and you can even
oh
see in like if you're watching this on YouTube, your background picture literally looks like a bunch of turds woven into
yeah,
it. Like it's a weird choice,
yeah,
Like they're like, hey, if we do CGI, it has to be all brown. That's the only color I know how to put
yeah.
in.
It's like I don't we can't afford the CGI other colors, so we're just gonna do all
Yeah,
brown.
yeah.
They're like, oh, to make it look like mummy skin, like there'll be different browns. No, like we
No,
just can afford one brown,
yeah, yeah. Like
brown.
I said, why didn't they wrap him in? Why didn't they wrap him like a mummy? I don't, you know what I mean? Like
Uh,
that would have made more sense. But
because I think
I
they
guess
wanted
hindsight,
right.
is
Well, I think they wanted to make him look a little scarier, a little more, whatever. And like it,
yeah.
and maybe at the time, because I remember like when this came out, I was when this movie came out, I was 10,
Hmm.
10 or 11. And so at the time, I was like, oh man, oh, look at that mummy.
I can't imagine a time when this was scary because he just didn't
Well,
look scary. Like I mean,
I
and
didn't
that's
say
the point.
scary. I didn't say scary.
Well,
I just
yeah,
said,
that's
look
true.
at that
Yeah,
mummy.
yeah. Like that's definitely a mummy. I think maybe possibly.
I think like it was just
Like
like,
it
oh,
came from a sarcophagus, so
yeah.
it must be.
And it's not covered in toilet paper this time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then
That
as
would
I've
have
got
actually helped him a lot. Like if he was covered in
I was
toilet
gonna say
paper.
now as I've got older, I'm like, I was
Yeah,
gonna cover
yeah.
that.
They should have covered him in toilet paper.
They're Brandon Fraser just having his comeback right now.
He like for sure looks like something my dog barfed up.
Wait,
Like,
Brandon Fraser or the mummy?
No, the
Oh,
mummy. Like,
yeah. Well, the Brendan Fraser is kind of having his comeback right now. you know. And they're I get apparently the rumor is that they he wants to do another Mummy movie.
Do another Mummy movie.
Yeah, so I gotta ask, do you bring back all the same cast, or do you
I would
send him
say
somewhere
like
different?
it depends on if it's a reboot or an extension
I think
of.
it'd be an extension.
So I mean, you don't necessarily have to bring back the same cast. I didn't really, honestly, I didn't really care about anybody else other than Evie and him in this
Yeah.
movie. There really wasn't anybody else that you. I mean, there was like the bad guy, the toady guy, whatever his name was. The other tour guide guy.
Benny?
Benny, yeah, because he was like, remember, because he was like kind of bad because he was helping
Yeah.
the mummy because the mummy's like, well, I'll make you rich or whatever. Which, ironically enough, that Benny guy, I think he was also the Cody guy in Dracula Untold. Was he like the Dracula's little like Igor guy?
Oh
I
yeah, I'm
think
pretty sure. Here, let
he.
me
It looks like him. If it wasn't, that's like this guy's brother or something like that. I
that
think that's
guy's
it's
name is Kevin J. O'Connor.
Kevin J. What's old Kevin J. been up to nowadays?
Let's see. The last movie he did was in 2020.
Uh huh.
He played a character
So it wasn't
called
Dracula Untold.
uh, no, it doesn't look like it. No. He was in Van Helsing.
Hmm. Maybe that's what I'm
He
thinking
was
of then.
Igor in Van Helsing, yeah.
Okay, that's why.
But his
Yeah.
last movie was in 2020. He played a character named Willie in a movie called Wish Upon a Unicorn.
Boom. Got you.
You know,
Unicorns.
Wish Upon a Unicorn. He must be retired because he's not. He's got nothing coming out. Uh,
Well, he got that wish upon a unicorn money. So
he's. You know what's weird? After the Mummy.
uh-huh.
Well, let me rephrase that. I should say after.
The
Well,
mummy.
yeah. Like I'm looking like some of the movies he was
I mean,
in.
Van Helsing, I guess, was after the
Yeah,
mummy, right? So
yeah, that's true. Because like some of the movies he was in, like
that was the Hugh Jackman one, right?
yeah,
Van Helsing.
he was also in a movie called Exorcism at 60,000 feet.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Uh, Buck Run.
Buck Run.
He was on. Oh, he had a short stint on Chicago PD.
Hmm.
Oh, he was also in GI Joe: Rise of the Cobra.
Oh, I don't think I saw that movie.
I watched like 20 minutes of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, oh, that's right. He was in There Will Be Blood. But after that, there's like a lot of stuff here I'm looking at.
Oh, yeah. There Will Be Blood. I remember
Yeah,
that him in that movie. That was a good movie. I like that movie a lot.
yeah, I mean, he was real good. He was in a bunch of stuff here when he started out. I'm trying to figure out what his first. Okay, all right. Uh, do you want to know what his first what his breakaway role was?
What's that?
He started acting in 1986,
Okay.
but his first kind of like big break, he was in a bunch of stuff, but his first big break came in '89 when he was a character in Still Magnolias,
Hmm. Wow.
and then
Turned it up.
because of that role,
Mm-hmm.
he got a role in an episode of Law and Order.
Bum, 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 bum,
Ba,
bum,
ba,
bum.
ba. Well, da, 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 da. No, Law and Order. That show will never
Yeah.
die. And
Yeah.
then,
Unlike the mummy.
hey, listen, that turd. You know, surprisingly, it's got a lot of 1-star reviews.
Yeah, I can see that. Like I said, I think this is a polarizing movie, right? It's hard to be middle of the road, you know?
Yeah. Well, what's
Like,
weird is one of them. I'm after the last couple episodes here, I'm becoming more and more convinced that you're secretly writing IMDb reviews, right? Because what let you
I
say your
don't
points. You
I
start
don't
off your
waste my
points right,
I don't waste my time, you know?
and then all of a sudden I pull up these reviews. I'm like, hmm. Uh, let me read this review to you, and you tell me you didn't write it.
Okay. Mhm.
Name this
What's the
review.
what's the it doesn't give the username, huh?
It does, but I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
Name of the review is. I will say it. The username is MSZ.
Okay.
Okay. Title of the review is As Bad as It Gets.
Wow.
I am frustrated. Frustrated that more movies like this will come out of Hollywood and reap in tons of money. Just makes me sad. The basic answer on a negative critique on The Mummy seems to be, hey, what did you expect? It's a fun movie. It's not. It's bad filmmaking at its worst.
Not.
It's not entertaining, and I was looking for shallow entertainment. It's not funny. The jokes are lame, and the scenes that should have been serious are jokes too, which are lame. The script doesn't even try to present a coherent and consistent plot. It's just a series of badly written, badly acted, and badly directed scenes held together by plot holes. 3 days before I seen The Mummy, I started reading William Goldman's Adventures in the Screen Trade. I think it really gives a good overview of the inner workings of the American film industry. However, The Mummy told me more about Hollywood filmmaking and the power of marketing in the average moviegoer than this wonderful book. And it's sad.
Wow. Wow. That guy,
Did
that
you write
guy, I
this?
mean, I'm not gonna say he hit the nail on the head, but sounds like he hit the nail on the head. Like
I was saying, did you write this?
that guy sounds like a very intelligent, insightful
No,
individual.
no, you did write it.
Probably we should try. Maybe we should reach out to him, see if he wants to be on the show.
I think he's already on it right now. That's why I say it's weird. I think it's gonna be a new game. Did Jeff write this IMDb review? Because it's getting to the point where it's getting real weird. Where I'll look at a couple reviews,
Yeah,
then we'll
yeah.
record, and you'll start your talk points. I'll go,
Like, wait a
I've
minute.
heard these before.
Well, I mean, when they're glaring issues, I do have a knack to I call people on their I call mummies on their bullshit, Like,
Listen, well, if we're being honest, right? I think it's really hard to even have a movie with a mummy, right? You know why? Because mummies are scary. They walk real slow. Uh, apparently they covered in poop.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know? So like maybe you should cut the mummy a break, but it's not really his fault.
Well, I mean, isn't it his fault because he's the mummy? So I mean, it's pretty much his fault.
It makes sense. What do you mean it's because he's the mummy? It's his fault.
So like he became a mummy, right? They did this curse on him because he was screwing
Not
around.
willingly. Well, he just wanted to date the
He was
the pharaoh's daughter.
He fucked around and found out. That's what.
Listen,
what
he was
happened.
just in love with the pharaoh's daughter, or
Mhm.
no, was it the pharaoh's wife? It was the
Like,
pharaoh's
his
wife.
Yeah, well,
You know, and like, I mean, what are you gonna do? You
well, I
know,
mean, she was in love with him too, though. So
if anything, yeah, but like, I think it was her fault because she like murdered the pharaoh.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
like, why couldn't they just like run away?
No, you can't do that in Egypt. So
We can't do that in Egypt.
you just can't. I mean, there's no way to do. Where are you gonna go? It's a desert. You're like, oh,
Go
I'm
to a
running
different
away to the
Egyptian
desert.
city.
I'm
There's not just
die in the
one
desert.
city in Egypt.
There's just one. It's Egypt. Yeah, it's the city of Egypt.
Wait, are you saying the capital of Egypt is Egypt?
Yeah. Yep.
Uh huh.
Look it up.
Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. If we ever go anywhere, I'm gonna handle the map. Oh God. Hey Jeff, would you recommend this movie, people?
You know what? I think you made a good point of maybe if you have children who, a little bit older children, maybe 8 to 10,
Yeah.
that might be interested in kind of action and
Right.
might be getting into like horror movies and that kind of stuff. Because this isn't really it's kind of that like right on the edge of a horror movie.
Yeah.
It's a horror concept, but it's not really a horror movie.
Right.
So, that's probably who I would recommend watching this. Or if you're from the 1940s, I mean that's
Yeah.
if you have a time machine, you came forward in time,
Yeah.
and you want to watch something today. So
Yeah. I agree. I'm the same. And I think too, if you looking to watch a decent movie with like your kids, nieces, nephews, and you don't want to watch like the Emoji Movie or like one of these other stupid animated stupid movies, throw in The Mummy. Yeah. If you've never seen if you've never seen a turd, but you don't want to look at a real one, watch The Mummy.
Yeah.
Yep. All kind of options here.
Yeah, if you want to watch a movie where there's a turd, but they don't say it's a turd, watch this movie.
Yeah. Now I gotta ask you a question. The question I've asked every week. Is this still in your mind would you still choose this movie over the Psycho remake?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's there's not many things that I'm gonna choose the Psycho remake over them.
I
I have
keep
to
I keep
admit.
I keep waiting for that day. The day
Well,
we finally talk about a movie that you find worse than the Psycho remake.
I don't know. I don't know, man. It's gonna be that's gonna be a tough that's a tough sell because that movie is dog shit.
All right, well, we'll just keep on trucking on, keep on trucking
Yep.
on.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, everybody, we appreciate you listening again. Uh, Make sure you give us if you wherever you listen to this podcast, give us a review, 5 stars. It's summer. I don't know what's the first day of summer called, summer solstice or whatever, summer June day or
Is it
something.
the vernal equinox?
No, I don't know, but it's coming, and you know what?
I can't remember.
Summer is a
Something
time
It's one
of
of them equinoxes.
summer is a time of growth and fun in the sun, and you can't have either unless it's 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
If it's on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. Make movie suggestions to Jeff that you think would be worse than Psycho, and we'll force him to watch it. We'll add it to the list. You can also watch episodes on YouTube. So make sure you like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell notification, leave a comment, all that fun stuff there. Then you can also follow us on Facebook and on the Instagram, that Loremaster the Absurd. You can follow me on Instagram at Loremaster Eli. Jeff, where can they follow you?
Loremaster Jeff on Instagram.
On the Instagrams. And when you're done listening to this, if this is your first episode, go listen to other ones. Go listen to that Psycho remake. We shouldn't be the only ones that have to suffer.
It's true.
We saw that.
Watch the Psycho remake and then listen to our commentary and say that you don't 100% agree with us. Like,
you want to hear two angry people for an hour? You listen to that Psycho episode.
It'd be like Thanksgiving dinner at the family's house.
Oh man, like Rob back from the Dairy Mart. Got no milk.
What?
I don't know what that. I don't know. Sometimes I say things.
Yep.
Listen, we got rules here.
I guess.
I'm the guy that knows all the rules, and I say things sometimes.
You should be locked in the mummy sarcophagus.
Oh, first off, no, because I don't want to come out looking like that.
Well, yeah. It was just like it was like a porta potty.
You know what it looks? You know what it looks like? That someone filled a spray painter with bird shit, and then just coated them, and even coating of like chicken shit.
Yeah.
Oh, so bad. Hey, on that, everybody. Catch y'all next time. Bye.